Hey there, I'm Mike Gillett, your host, and this is 1936 Part 5, Episode 8 of the Soundscape series of When Radio Ruled. This podcast is a montage of excerpts from old-time radio shows broadcast October 4 to November 11th, 1936. Starring Eddie Cantor, James Wallington, Cecil B. Demille, Carl Hubbell, Lou Gerhig, Joe E. Brown, Fred Allen, Harry Ranzel, Jack Renard, George Burns, Gracie Allen, and more. These soundscapes are a result of the research phase of the When Radio Ruled historical documentary series. In order to find the best old-time radio excerpts to explain the essence of the era, I listened to hundreds of hours of old-time radio broadcasts, looking for the most interesting bits. For the documentary about 1936, I listened to almost 95 hours of recorded past. When I hear something outstanding, a song or a joke or a comedy sketch or a news report or an interview, I add it to a best of clip reel so I can easily find all the best excerpts for the documentary. But not everything can get into the final version. For 1936, I boiled 95 hours of programming down to 6 hours of excerpts, of which a little under 2 hours made the final cut. And it seems like such a waste. Listening to these clip reels is one of my favorite parts of the process. I don't remember what I put on them, so it is one unexpected gem after another. And I want to share that experience with you. These excerpts are offered without commentary for your entertainment and education. So here are some voices from 1936. Voices sadly now silenced. Great performers, living again because you're listening now.
Oh, by the way,
Yep.
Here's $10. I'm kissing goodbye.
Yep.
You got me again today with those Yankees.
Oh, yes, James, and take a telegram to the Giants, will you?
All right, Eddie, what do you want to say?
New York Giants, New York City.
Yeah?
Why don't you get in touch with Rudy Valley's orchestra?
Rudy Valley's orchestra. Why?
Well, the Giants are having so much trouble with the New York Yankees, they might have a better chance playing the Connecticut Yankees. Nice night out, isn't it?
Sure, swell.
You know, I just found out that taxi drivers manufacture our gasoline.
What do you mean?
Well, they put gasoline in their tanks and step on the starter.
Yes?
And isn't that what makes the taxi go?
Makes the taxi go. You know, Eddie, I love the way you sneak in a mention of the product all the time. Always advertising.
Well, advertising is a natural thing, Jimmy. Everybody does it. Do you know that every time you kiss a girl, it's an ad?
Oh, that's silly. What kind of advertising is kissing?
Mouth-to-mouth advertising.
Mouth.
And believe me, it gets quick results.
Oh, I don't know about that. Look how long you had to advertise for a boy. Over 20 years, and what did it get you?
A very good salary, Jimmy. A very good salary.
You know, Eddie...
What?
Eddie, sometimes advertising is misleading.
How do you mean?
Well, don't forget, the chicken lays the eggs, but the rooster does all the crowing.
Well, Jimmy, you're the rooster on this program because you do most of the crowing.
Maybe it's because your jokes have been laying the eggs.
Yeah. Well, I may lay an egg now and then, but it certainly helps to feather your nest.
Jimmy, what
Yes?
is this lightning action I hear you talk about?
Well, look, Pete. The fastest ball in today's World Series game was Gerhig's timely home run in the third inning. He didn't hesitate a fraction of a second. Met the ball squarely with his bat and practically settled the game for the Yankees. Well, that's lightning action. Fast, effective work. Now, in a car, it's like this. When you drive a car at average cruising speed, 9,000 separate charges of gasoline must explode every single minute.
Is that right?
Yes. And that calls for lightning action gasoline. For a gasoline that fires instantly, that delivers full power in 1/100th of a second. Today's cars need Fire Chief gasoline. The gasoline that was developed to meet special service requirements in emergency vehicles, ambulances, and fire engines.
So that's why they call it Fire Chief.
That's right. It was made for engines that demand complete lightning action from every drop of gasoline. And if you want to feel the difference in the way you start, the way you pick up speed in emergencies, and the way you take hills, just try a tank full of Fire Chief gasoline. And when you compare the mileage, you'll find, too, that Texaco Fire Chief gives you more for your money. Don't be satisfied with less in your car. Tomorrow, stop at the familiar Texaco pump, anywhere in our 48 states, and fill up with Fire Chief. We're sure you'll like it.
Deanna knows a swell song about sweethearts. Make her sing it.
Gee, that's a good suggestion, Bobby. Where did you learn such grand showmanship?
I learned it from radio's greatest showman.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. I listen to Major Bose every Thursday.
Quiet. Go ahead, Deanna. Tell me, where have you been?
I just come from the gymnasium.
Yep.
You know, I'm in training. I got to make myself strong enough to be the president.
Wait, strong enough to be the president?
Yeah, I read in the paper that the man who's elected president got to carry 36 states.
Yep. Oh, heaven help us all if you're elected president.
What do you worry about? When I'm the president, I'm going to make you vice president.
Oh, because you like me.
No, because that's one way to keep you quiet for 4 years.
Yep. Don't be silly, Pocketcockers. We've got a good vice president now, Mr. Garner.
Yeah, but I don't think if he's going to be the vice president long.
Well, why not?
Because everywhere I go, I hear people saying knocks, knocks.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be very hard for anyone to vote for you for president, believe me.
No, it's easy.
Why?
All they got to do is put an X beside my name. That's my slogan.
What's your slogan?
X marks the spot where you park your carcass on the ballot.
Yep. Ballot? What do you think? Ballot? You don't even know what a ballot is.
Who don't? A ballot is what you shoot from a gun.
No. No, that's a bullet.
Don't tell me a bullet is a little bull.
No, a little bull. A little bull. Why don't you listen to what I say?
Oh, no, that's a lot of bull.
Yeah, wait a minute. That's fine talk for a presidential candidate. With your brain, what could you do if you were elected president?
I got an idea to bring back prosperity.
How?
I'm going to change the whole map of the United States.
Change the map. Park your carcass. I'm 100% American, and the old map is good enough for me.
Boy, if I had a map like yours, I'd shoot myself.
Get away from that. You'd shoot yourself. Never mind that. Let me hear your crazy plan.
Well, first places.
Yes?
New York is too far away from California.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put New York where it's California and California where New York is.
Yep. Are you mad? They'll still be the same distance apart.
Sure, but suppose a fella in New York wants to go to California.
Yes.
Just stays home and there he is.
Yep. Yeah, wait a minute, wise guy. But suppose a fellow lives in California and he wants to stay in California.
That's easy. Then he goes to New York.
Yep. No, wait. Think of the railroad fare a man will have to spend in order to stay home.
No, with my ideas, there's going to be no railroad fares.
How's that?
Instead of a man who's going to travel to another state,
Yep.
we're going to bring the state right to him.
Wait, let me get this straight. You mean you're thinking of putting a state on wheels and bringing it to a person?
Why not? They've been doing it for years.
Moving states on wheels?
Sure. Don't you never hear of Wheeling, West Virginia?
That's not bad. Now, what else are you going to do with the map?
Well, with my system, nobody's going to be sick.
Nobody's going to be sick?
No, sir. I'm going to move Chicago ill right over to Baltimore, MD.
Yep. Go ahead. Keep on. Go ahead.
Well, that's not all.
No, what else?
I figured out where the names of the states and cities is too long.
Yep.
We're going to push them all together.
You mean you take states like Delaware and Washington, put them together, and make Wash?
You got it, boy. I'll show you how we could all make money from that.
How?
Well, you take the first part of Philadelphia.
That's Phil.
Yeah, and Utah.
Utah, that's you.
And Carolina.
That's Cat.
Push them all together. What do you got?
Phil, you Cat.
Right. Now take Texas and Colorado. Push them together.
That's Texaco.
There you are. Fill your car with Texaco. How am I doing?
Well,
Don't worry about the budget. When I'm the president, I take out all the money from the treasury and I give it to the people to spend.
But it's ridiculous. It'll make a hole in the mint.
Yeah, but that'll be a lifesaver for the country.
Get up. We've Roosevelt and Landon and Townsend, who's planned on a pension for the old and gray. The winner will be a dark horse if you vote for Park Your Carcass. So, yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas today.
9 p.m. BULOVA, Boulevard Watch Time. WABC, New York.
Now listen to reason, Elmer. Wade is going to leave town in a few minutes.
Yeah? I ain't holding them back.
Oh, but you're passing up a wonderful opportunity. Why, Wade says you're the greatest pitching possibility of the season. He predicts you'll be a second Dizzy Dean.
Boy, what a boost. Yeah, for Dizzy.
Here in Hollywood, working hours are often irregular, frequently very long. Wives often spend the evenings with each other for company.
Listen, Evelyn, there's a guy coming in this room in a few minutes. He's a kind of a nut.
Will you stand for anything I tell him and play up? It's all fun, you understand?
Sure, I'll string along. You know me. What is he, a sap?
He's the last word in the comic supplement. Do you mind?
Mine? I love it.
That's a good girl. Wait a minute. That's probably him now.
Say a few words to President Roosevelt.
What?
Say a few words to President Roosevelt. He's listening in.
Yeah?
Yes.
Good evening, President Roosevelt. This is Elmer. Elmer Kane speaking. Guess you're going to be at the World Series to see the 4 straight games won by I and the New Yorks. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and heaven bless all the little children, especially the baseball fans. Yours truly, Elmer Kane. Wait just a minute. Hello, Ma.
While we are in the middle of the greatest baseball comedy of the season out here in Hollywood, the greatest baseball drama of the year is being enacted in New York. There, the World Series between the Giants and the Yankees is at its peak. This week, the star of the Giants, Carl Hubbell, and the Yankee slugger, Lou Gehrig, have their pictures on the cover of the magazine Time, an honor reserved for the outstanding personalities of the week. The Lux Radio Theater is proud to present both these stars direct from New York. All right, New York, batter up.
You know, Lou, I seem to remember you saying that the Yankees would win the World Series by Monday night.
Well, Carl, can I help it if it rained last Thursday?
It didn't rain today.
No, and it didn't rain Thursday either.
I kind of wish it had, Lou. You Yankees sure gave it to me Sunday, and your homer cinched it.
Well, I was lucky, Carl. It was the biggest curveball in the world, but it was about time. I'd batted against you for quite a while without even getting a loud foul. And that Schumacher, was he tough today?
He sure pitched a ball game. What was it he threw you when he struck you out in the third with the bases full? Or is that too personal?
It's personal, all right. He threw me everything, and then he came through for the third strike with his Sunday pitch. It was a curved ball, and I missed it a mile.
I'll have to get him to teach it to me.
You've got enough right now. What do you say we forget about today and talk about tomorrow? What's going to happen, anyhow?
The Giants are a cinch. A Fitzsimmons will show you more than you saw today.
Oh, sure, the Giants are a cinch. Just like they were in that 18-4 game. It's a good thing for you fellas we let up in that game yesterday.
What do you mean, let up? You got 6 runs in the 9th inning.
That's when we let up. We were afraid if we made any more, you wouldn't show up for the third game.
Say, Lou, you're a great hitter, all right. What's your average so far in the series?
Oh, about 315.
That's pretty good. Of course, I'm hitting 333 myself. But then everybody don't hit like a Hubbell.
Watch us tomorrow, slugger.
Lou, we've been doing a lot of ribbon here tonight. There's one thing I want the folks to know, and that is that last week you were voted the most valuable player in the American League for the 4th time.
Yes, and I want the folks to know that you got the same award in the National League.
Yes, but that was before they heard Joey Brown in Elmer the Great.
Speaking of Joe, I bet it's tough on him missing the series. You know how crazy he is about baseball.
I don't know. It seemed like he's pitching a pretty good game out in Hollywood tonight. By the way, Lou, who's going to pitch for the Yankees tomorrow?
Looks like Gomez. And then we all go home for the rest of the winter. Why don't you have dinner with me tomorrow night, Carl? We're going to have Yankee bean soup, Yankee pot roast.
Wait till after Wednesday and eat with me. I'll treat you to some of the best giant raspberries you ever saw. Sort of a celebration, you know. And then I'm going back to Meeker, Oklahoma, and getting some hunting and fishing. What are you going to do after the series, Lou?
Well, tomorrow night, I'm going to sleep about 2 days. And then I'll figure out some way of spending the big end of the series money. That'll be my toughest problem.
No, Lou, your toughest problem will be to get the big end of the World Series.
Well, Carl, we'll see about that tomorrow. So long. See you at the ballpark. Good night, Hollywood.
Good night, Joey Brown. Keep pitching in there.
New York City, New York. The Yankees win World Series in 6 games and become world's baseball champions for 1936. Town Hall News brings you the outstanding lowlights of the series. First, an interview with the man who almost bought the first ticket for the opening game of the series, Mr. Flubdub D. Fink.
Do I start talking now? Ladies and gentlemen,
Just a minute, Flubdub. How did you happen to almost buy the first ticket?
Well, the newspaper said it was going to be a nickel World Series, so I went up to the ticket window with a nickel.
What happened?
I was $9.95 short.
A flash from the third game. Lou Gerhig hits a home run. Town Hall News shows Gerhig coming home.
Come in, Lou.
We present for the first time over the networks the man who broke the World Series hot dog eating record for all times, Mr. Roland Moan. How many Frankfurts did you consume, Mr. Moan? No, just how many? Just give us the number, if you will, Mr. Moan.
I can't talk, mister. I'm so full of dogs I can only bark.
The first band to stand up to stretch in the... The first band to stand up to stretch in the lucky seventh, Mr. Tacit Flex.
Is this the microphone here?
Yes, Mr. Flex. I'm wearing the derby here. Will you, just an informal exhibit, if you will. You just show us how you stretch during the World Series?
Okay, but you'll have to stand back.
All right.
Watch this. Oh, gol darn these tight pants.
The man who yelled the loudest during the entire series, the season's champion heckler, Mr. Raucous Pipes. Mr. Pipes.
Yay, throw the bum out! Throw the bum out! Get him out of there! Right, God, throw the bum out! Throw him out! I tell you to...
Just a minute.
Huh?
Well, life isn't a personal appearance, Mr. Pipes. Now, will you just come over to the microphone here?
I don't need no microphone, buddy. When I'm hot, you can hear me in Omaha. Yay! Throw the bum out!
Now, wait a
throw
minute.
the bum out! Get him out!
Wait a minute. Just give us your bellowing high spot from the World Series. Which was your Pulitzer Prize cat call? Do you remember?
Well, in the third game, the umpire called Terry safe, you see, so I swings into action. Yay! Take that bum out! Oh, throw him out, you bum! Throw him out!
Did they throw him out?
I don't know. When I come to, the series was over.
My poem is called Alan.
Alan. Well, now we're getting someplace.
L is for the laughs you never handle.
Fine.
O is for the old age of your joke. U is just for you. I don't mean Benny.
I don't have to share.
S is for the slores your fun evokes. Y is for the yawns you give the nation. You're just a growing pain from coast to coast. Put them all together, they spell Alan.
Wait a minute. Lousy doesn't spell Alan.
That's what you think.
Why, that's the last thrower.
Gosh, this is some welcome.
Oh.
Hey, Mr. Allen.
Get these people out of here. Give me those kids' heads. I'll show you knock-knock. Thank you. Thank you so much for the first fall appearance of the mighty Allen Artleys, ladies and gentlemen, those tireless thespians who feel that the show must go on and on in spite of fervent advice to the contrary. But then, as that young fellow Publius Sirius said, almost 2,000 years ago, many receive advice, few profit by it. Isn't that true, Harry?
Well, generally, I'd say it was, Fred, but there are still some exceptions. I know that countless people have profited by the advice of physicians regarding sal hepatica. For more than 40 years, many have recommended it. For more than 40 years, it has helped change dull, logy feelings into brighter, happier ones. Because sal hepatica is the mineral salt laxative made especially to do two important things.
To remove wastes from the body and also to help nature combat acidity.
And those two things usually cause that logy, under par feeling. So the very next time you feel under the weather, ladies and gentlemen, profit by sound advice and do this. Put 2 teaspoonfuls of sal hepatica in a glass of water and drink it. See how quickly and pleasantly it will help you feel alert, alive, and normal again. If you'll remember sal hepatica for the smile of health.
Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the three boys, Charlie Condrato, William Duffy, and Philip Valendi from Woburn, Massachusetts, the Holton Hillbilly Trio. You boys ready to go? All set? Go right ahead. Thank you.
I'm an old cowhand. from the Rio Grande. And I come to town to hear the band. Tell 'em, boys. Oh, I know all songs that the cowboys know. About corrals and where the dogs go. Learn them all from the radio. Tie-in. Take a boy. And young men from the Rio Grande. Tell 'em, son. Hand me that game, boy. That's right. Damn cheek ain't can. Well, I'm a cowboy who never started second. Never up speed to the dog. Joey 15 starting now. Keep your old guy.
I didn't know that we had hillbillies up in Boston. Probably good old Beacon Hillbilly.
I've got an idea, James.
What's that?
Look, let's figure out what the most successful programs on the air have got and take the best from each one.
Well, which program shall we start with?
Let's start with ours, huh?
Would you call our program successful?
Jimmy, I give you my word of honor. I heard two women talking in the lobby after last Sunday's broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
One woman said that Eddie Cantor is the funniest man, and he has the finest program that was ever put on the air.
Who were the women?
I don't know the lady that Ida was talking to.
All right, now, what do we take from our program?
All right, listen, and I'll tell you. This week, all my fan mail was loaded with fan mail from folks who said I let them down. I feel so dejected, they claim I've neglected the song about Texaco Town. Though I'm busy with my civic plans, I'll stop to take care of my fans. Oh, one dope with defiance said I'm for the Giants and bet that the Yanks would go down. Now he slaves on Sundays, 'cause he lost his undies. The mayor of Texaco Town. I bought a police dog, the smartest police dog, guaranteed to knock crooks on the ground. But he's not worth a cent for. You know the first guy he went for? Who? The mayor of Texaco Town. It's so hard to follow the loves of Jean Hollow. Each week there's a new star around. But she only has eyes for and keeps buying ties for. Who? The mayor of Texaco Town.
Well, that's not bad for a start. Not at all bad for a start. Now let's take another program. How about Jack Benny?
Jack Benny, what has he got that I haven't got? He's got delicious flavors, and I've got delicious daughters.
Yeah, but he's got 6 delicious flavors.
Yeah. Read it again, Jimmy. I don't mind. Read it again. Go ahead. We're old friends. Go ahead.
He's got 6 delicious flavors.
All right. Jack can go home tonight and kiss an extra plate of Jell-O.
Well, that's not getting us a program, though.
But I don't worry. You know, with this here election speech, I got to win.
Is this your speech?
Yeah, read it. Go ahead.
Yeah. If I am elected, I promise to repeal the 18th Amendment, keep America out of the League of Nations, and guarantee bank deposits. You can use this. That's the speech that elected Roosevelt in 1932.
Well, if it was good enough for him, it's good enough for me.
All right, Pop. I'm so happy since the day that I fell in love in a great big way. And the big surprise is someone loves me too. Guess it's hard for you to see just what anyone could see in me, but it only goes to prove what love can do. My baby don't care for shows. My baby don't care for clothes. My baby just cares for me. My baby don't care for silk and laces. My baby don't care for high-tone places. My baby baby don't care for rings or other expensive things. She's sensible as can be. My baby don't care who knows it. My baby just cares for me. My baby's no Gable fan. Robert Taylor is not her man. My baby just cares for me. My baby don't care for Lawrence Tibbet. She'd rather have me around to Tibbet. Gary Cooper is not her style, and even Dick Cowell's smile is something that she can't see. I wonder what's wrong with baby. My baby just cares for me.
Can't you see? You're just saying words. There's no lover standing before you.
Well, I tried it last night when I was alone, and it seemed to go all right.
This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
I've created a new dance called the Republican Democratic Swing. Look, la-da-da-da, la-ba-ba-doo,
Eddie, you're having trouble with your knees.
Yeah, that's why it's called the Republican Democratic Swing. They keep knocking each other.
Besides, nobody could make money from the mint. No? Because I'm going to make all the workers there put up a $2 deposit.
Oh, if you make them put up a $2, they can't take a $2 deposit. Suppose a man steals $5,000.
Then he loses his deposit.
Yep.
And if he loses his deposit 3 times, he's fired.
Oh, that'll teach him a lesson. Oh, sure. By that time, he's only got half the money in the United States Treasury.
Yeah, but he could never get the other half.
Why not?
Because Europe has got it.
Yep.
Comes your Lucky Strike Hit Parade. The 15 tunes that rank highest in the country's favor this week as shown by a nationwide survey. The week's 15 top tunes played for your pleasure to keep you posted on what's what in popular music. And something else for your pleasure. Your Lucky Strike Sweepstakes, that grand national cigarette game. It's a chance to show that you know America's favorite melody. A chance to win a prize of 50 Lucky Strike cigarettes. 50 fine-tasting Luckies, round and firm and fully packed with no loose ends. So come on in and join the thousands of sweepstakes winners. Pick the top song and the 2 runners-up on next week's programs. 1, 2, 3, just like that. Win your prize of 50 delicious Lucky Strikes. The only cigarette that's toasted. Your throat protection against irritation, against cough. We'll tell you how to enter the sweepstakes a little later. Right now, we're off with tonight's opening tune, number 5. Sing, baby, sing.
And
they're out of their corners fast, ladies and gentlemen. They're out there in the center of the ring sparring, but seem to be taking it cautious. Neither man wants to. Oh, boy, what a sock to the jaw. That was the champ, ladies and gentlemen, with a hard right to the jaw. And another right to the jaw. And a left. Oh, just listen to that crowd roar.
When you're cheering at a boxing match or a football game or a political rally, consider the strain on your throat with all that yelling. Always, a light smoke is better for you. But it's at times like these, when you're subjecting your voice and throat to unusual strains, that you appreciate a light smoke most. For a light smoke, a Lucky Strike, has the benefit of that exclusive process, it's toasted, which is your throat protection against irritation, against cough. There's an ad right pat on this subject that you'll see in your own newspaper tomorrow. Let me quote just a few sentences. Smoke round after round of Luckies, and your throat keeps clear, your voice keeps clear. It is only Luckies that give your throat the protection offered by toasting. So make your choice a light smoke, and then smoke round after round, and they'll still taste good. Your mouth will taste clean. For Lucky's are a light smoke made from choice center leaves, the high center leaves, the high price leaves, the cream of the crop tobaccos.
Welcome to Texaco Town. And again, the 45,000 dealers who serve you with Fire Chief gasoline and other Texaco products present His Honor the Mayor, Eddie Cantor.
The Democrats and Republicans are spending a lot of money broadcasting their campaign speeches.
Yes?
Well, we have our own radio station, TEX. Why not let them go on together?
Together? But they're opposition parties.
That's all right.
Well, how would a thing like that work out?
We'll try it. You take one side, and I'll represent the other. Here, I've got 2 campaign cards in this hat. One has the picture of the Democratic donkey on it, the other the picture of the Republican elephant.
Okay, I'll pick first.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I got the picture of the donkey.
You're looking in the mirror. The picture's on the other side.
Oh. I see.
Yeah.
I've got the Republican elephant.
All right, now you're a Republican, and I'm a Democrat, and we'll both broadcast the campaign speech over the same microphone at the same time. You start it.
Okay. Fellow citizens, I come to you on behalf of the Republican
Democratic
Party. If you'll vote for our candidate, whom you all know is the best man, Mr.
Roosevelt
Landon, we will assure you high tariffs.
Low tariff.
High.
Low.
High.
Low. High, low, everybody. This is Rudy Valley, Miss Connecticut Yankee.
We'll do away with unemployment, build better roads, lower taxes.
Here, too.
And reduce the national deficit, which is $22 billion.
$21,999,811,212.11.
And to you veterans, we say, Buddy, can you deny that we pushed through the bonus bill? Buddy, can you say we were unfair? Buddy, can you find a better man to vote for? Buddy?
Can you spare a dime?
And in conclusion, I say there is one person who has the following of all men.
Yes.
Whose every action thrills.
Yes.
Someone all men would follow in every movement.
Yes.
And that person is none other than...
Gene Harlow. Broke again, gentlemen, I am ruined now. Wall Street's not to blame, nor the racing game. I have spent every cent, let me tell you how. Listen, one and all, to the cause of my downfall. Hungry women, I feed them and weep. They never eat cheap. All those meal hounds eat like real hounds when they're out with me. They're out on a spree. They have cute faces and cute figures, but the real question is where to get one who has got a cute indigestion. Hungry women, I feed them and weep. Hungry women, I feed them and weep. They never eat cheap. When they pitch in and clean the kitchen, what I'd like to know is where does it go? I met a girl with just 2 teeth and took her to supper. With just my luck, her lower tooth met with the upper. Hungry women, I feed them and weep. Boy, if you ever showed one bit of sense, Parky, it would be a revelation.
A what?
A revelation. You know what revelation is.
Oh, sure. Revelation is what they're having in Spain.
No. That's a revolution. No.
You don't mean you're making up your mind to marry somebody in particular? Mengel?
Oh, no, Rims. Fred wants me to marry him. He's awfully in love with me, and I don't want to go on working forever.
Oh, I see. I didn't know you felt that way about it.
Well, I don't really. I was just joking. We'd better go. I wouldn't marry anyone. No, not even you.
You wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, yes, you will. I mean...
Do you want me to?
Oh, there's nothing else I want more. Oh, Bobby.
But you're going to South America.
South America? No, darling. Somebody else can go to South America.
Me, come here, Lynn. Come here and do some of your imitations.
Well, if you think they're good enough.
Good enough. Jack, give him some incidental music, will you?
My time is your time. Your time This is Rudy Valley in the Royal Gelatin Program, celebrating my 7th anniversary, and it affords me a great pleasure to present Fred Allen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your old friend, Fred Allen. Well, as I live and try to talk out of the left side of my mouth so I can sprinkle this gardenia in my lapel, if it isn't my old friend Arthur Tracy, the street singer.
Martha, rambling rose of the wild. Fragrance divine. Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. This is the old maestro, Ed Brody and all the lads, wishing you a bit of a tweet, a bon cheerio, so help me yowza. And now, presenting to yous guys and yous gals, this is Richmond's little boy, Harry. Say, I know why I've waited, yes, sir, and I know just why I've been blue. And I prayed each night for someone exactly like you. Oh, thank you, you gorgeous people. But you hear that music, don't you? You know who that is? That's my very dear friend and brilliant master of ceremonies, Bing Crosby. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bing Crosby in the Kraft Music Hall. If my eyes don't deceive me, here comes the first citizen of Van Buren, Arkansas, Mr. Robin Burns.
Thank you, Bing. You know, Bing, I certainly appreciate being on this program with you, but I ain't going to play my bazooka tonight. Instead, I'm going to ask you to sing an old favorite of yours, I Can't Escape From You.
Why, of course, Bob. Swing it, Jimmy. I'm free as the wandering breeze. I'm free to wander any place I please, and yet I can't escape from you. Thank you. Now it's a privilege to present His Highness of Hi-de-Hi and Ho-de-Ho, Cab Calloway. Beep-up, beep-up, beep-la-dee-dee-dee-dee. Oh, tell us, Smoky Joe, what you will have to go. And the T.T. party. And there was me. Yeah, man! Chickens along. All right. Nice work, Lynn Hayes. You're going to go far.
You know, I think I'm going to leave for Washington right away.
You can't leave for Washington. You can't. Roosevelt's there. You can't have two parties in the White House. You listen. Let me tell you one thing. Partners, listen to me. You can't have two parties in the White House at the same time.
Well, let Roosevelt have his party on Tuesday, and I'll have mine on Wednesday.
Mr. Lawrence Dennis, also a former town meeting speaker, author of The Coming American Fascism, approaches this question from a slightly different angle. Mr. Dennis is sometimes called the #1 fascist of America. And he's just returned from an extensive tour of European capitals. I won't say which capitals.
During this campaign, reached its apotheosis in Chicago, where Governor Landon and Mrs. Simpson shared the front pages of several newspapers, with Mr. Roosevelt only appearing occasionally very far inside. So that one of my friends suggested that probably many voters would write Mrs. Simpson's name in on the ballot. And abuse of free speech reached an all-time low in our history, I should think, in the final address of the Reverend Father Coughlin. We weren't to be personal, were they? But isn't an open season on Father Coughlin? Who managed to accuse the president of attempting to destroy American freedom and the American Constitution, while at the same time the Reverend Father himself pled for Congress to secure an annual living wage for all workers, a program which it would be very interesting to submit to the Supreme Court. I am absolutely convinced that it is the most serious political mistake to attempt to talk down to the American people at this moment of our history. For an immense amount of genuine public education has been going on in this country. Education in public affairs, and for that the open forum certainly deserves a great deal of credit. Desirable above all, to my mind, is the revival of debate and the encouragement of the public heckler. The radio, even in countries where it's not controlled, has serious disabilities. It entrenches the one-way speech. The listener at the fireside cannot publicly question the statements that he hears. They're made to several million hearers without the slightest danger of public contradiction. It may be that radio is partly responsible for the exit of debate in political disputes. I remember that when this country was once in a condition of serious internal crisis, at one of the times when it was at the crossroads, as it so often is, Mr. Lincoln and Mr. Douglas took to the stump and fought the issues out before the people of the nation in each other's presence, where every statement they made could be challenged. And those debates, of course, belong to the great American document. That technique is now reserved to speakers in public forums, before the Foreign Policy Association and in these town meetings of the air. But it's a technique which desperately needs further revival.
Tonight, on a public platform and in a nationwide hookup, I am allowed to say with emphasis that we were very foolish as a nation to enter the World War on the side of the Allies or on any other side in 1917. I thought the same in 1917, though I went to France in the infantry. But had I then said as much in public, I should have been sent to prison for 5 or 10 years, along with many others who were so disloyal as to criticize their country's war aims in time of war. In this country, as in most others, there is full freedom to denounce past and future wars and a prison sentence for denouncing a present war.
A declining society such as that in which we live in the United States will progressively restrict the area of public discussion. The American ruling class, under the stress of historic forces which it obviously cannot control, is retreating from the higher level of economic internationalism to the lower level of economic nationalism, and is liquidating a large portion of the middle class, lowering the standard of living of the working masses, and reducing a whole section of the community, the unemployed and unemployable population surplus, to economic and social pariahship. The people cling to their American standard of living. Like their European fellow humans, they will resist every effort to lower their level of well-being. Driven by historic necessity and confronted by mass resistance, the ruling class in the United States will follow the accepted European practice, declare a state of emergency, and deny public discussion of the issues involved. An enlargement of the area of public discussion cannot be expected during a period of social decline. Those who live in a declining society and who believe that public discussion is a desirable means of forming public opinion must turn their energies to the task of replacing the outmoded, declining social system by a new, expanding social order.
I wish I could have his faith in waiting for a classless society, or even in working for a classless society, because I don't know of any classless society that's ever existed outside of the cemetery.
There are over 1,500 people gathered here in Town Hall, and among them a number of distinguished guests from abroad, officials of the broadcasting companies in 15 foreign countries, have come to New York this month to participate in the celebration of the National Broadcasting Company's 10th anniversary. A number of these broadcasting officials are in our audience this evening. We are particularly happy to welcome them here to Town Hall. This subject may have been of special interest to some of these European broadcasters, and if you gentlemen, guests of the National Broadcasting Company, have any questions you'd like to ask first, before we go on with the question period, let's have them, please. Will you rise and state your name and where you're from?
If a fella like Landon can shake Roosevelt's hand and say, I'm with you, Franklin, I vow. His example, let's match it and bury the hatchet. Yes! Let's all be Americans now. A alas, poor Yorick.
Hey,
Yeah.
are you Cantor?
Yeah, what do you want?
Have you got 2 halves for $1?
Yes.
You got 2 5s for a 10?
Yes.
You got 2 10s for a 20?
Certainly.
Capitalist. Pooh.
Yep. Well, it's a good thing the people didn't pick you for president.
Yeah, well, I ain't through fighting yet.
Yep.
How many votes Roosevelt got?
25 million.
And Landon?
16 million. And you got exactly 29 votes.
Well, if it's that close, then I demand a discount.
Yep. Discount, you mean a recount. You got 29 votes and you want a recount?
Yeah, I only expected 24.
The mayor wants to thank all you nice people for writing and requesting the following song. When a lady meets a gentleman down south.
When a lady meets a gentleman down south, near the Swanee moon to a Swanee tune they love. Then the lady tells her gentleman down south, sure it's mighty fine just to know you're mine, my love. Then they walk along where magnolias grow, to her sing a song that was written long ago. Now if that's not sweet romance, then hush my mouth. When a lady meets a gentleman, a very polished gentleman, when a lady meets a gentleman down south, yes, sir, I'm going south. Taste the sugar cane right in my mouth. On the world is sweet away down south, where they make love. Now, if that's not sweet romance, then hush my mouth. When a lady meets a gentleman, a kind of a polished gentleman, when a lady meets a gentleman down south. Thanks.
Waitress,
Yes, sir?
give me a check, will you, please?
Okay. Orange juice and 2 cups of coffee. 35 cents.
All right. Keep the change.
Thank you, sir. Oh, hello, Mr. Demille. Gee, you're cute.
Well, you're not so bad. We're on the air, Miss Newell.
Oh, just like a radio program?
Practically the same.
And everybody hears whatever I say?
Yes, they do.
Oh, goody. Hello, Jack. Hello, Mortimer.
Just a
Hello,
minute.
Mr. Jacoby.
Just
Hello,
a
Ed.
minute.
Hello.
Don't say anything until I ask you a question. Then talk straight into this. This is a microphone, Miss Newell, see? Microphone.
But of course, an apparatus for converting audio energy into electrical energy. Anybody knows that.
Well, upon my word.
Microphone, it comes from the Greek word micros, meaning small.
Oh, you know a little Greek.
Not anymore. I haven't seen him in years. Oh, Nicholas.
Miss Newell, you're quite an enigma.
Oh, and I like you, too.
What I'm struggling to determine is how you got into pictures.
Well, when I was in high school...
You were in high school?
I'll thank you for not interrupting me, sir.
But how did you get into pictures?
Well, a Spanish boy I knew taught me to speak Spanish, and I got a job in a foreign language studio. After that, I was with Gene Harlow's stand-in at Metro, and then I went to Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Are all showgirls like you, are they?
Mr. Demille, you say the nicest things.
Oh, well. What are your latest pictures?
Stage Struck, Cain and Mabel, and now Gold Diggers.
Do you smoke or drink?
Thanks, but hadn't we better wait till we're through?
What's a showgirl's idea of marriage?
Well, it's like this. If a man came along with plenty of money, I think most of us would like to get married, providing we fell in love. That's important, too. But personally, if a man without money wanted to marry, I don't think it would be fair to either of us. You see, showgirls are really too independent to...
I'm afraid
All right.
I'm afraid that the pilot of that plane is going to find himself in a spin with all you gold diggers aboard. Do you like the idea of flying?
Swell. The only trouble is that with 12 of us in one plane, there won't be much room left for clothes. But we know how to get around that.
How?
Did you ever hear of Lux Flakes?
Well, it sounds familiar.
They solve our problem. Each night when we stop off at a hotel, we do a little washing with Lux Flakes. We use Lux all the time at the studio for our sweaters and costumes. And we use it on our trip, not only for convenience, but because we want to look our best always. You ought to try it sometime.
I will. It sounds like lots of fun.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Demille. This has been lots of fun. If I haven't given the audience a very concrete idea of what a Hollywood showgirl is really like, maybe it's because we're actually no different than other girls. No smarter and, well, I guess no dumber. Just trying to make good and waiting for the right man. Thanks loads and good night.
Good night, Miss Newell.
The Statue of Liberty has just celebrated her 50th birthday. During this half-century, many memorable events have passed before her eyes. Jack Renard recalls some of these to you in a musical medley.
Spanish-American War. The Gay 90s. Statue of Liberty sees her first aeroplane. The World War. Now the Jazz Age. Lindbergh flies to Paris. That was the Wall Street crash. President Roosevelt re-elected.
Cantor. Thanks for bringing me to New York. I love it.
This is your first trip. What have you been doing?
Well, I've been seeing the sights of New York. Jimmy Wallington invited me to his home yesterday.
Yeah?
And Jack Renard introduced me to his family.
Uh-huh.
And I met all of Pocky Carcass's relatives.
That's right. You're certainly seeing the sights of New York.
Today I had lunch in a restaurant where all the radio stars go.
All the radio stars. I'll bet you were thrilled.
Thrilled? I ran right home and made up a game about them.
A game? How do you play it?
Well, anybody can play. For instance, I start to tell a story, and you try to add to it until we get the story finished.
You mean we build a story?
Yes, but you must use the names of radio stars.
I see.
I'll show you. I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Smith falls for Mary Jones like a Wallington of bricks. One day she makes a remark about the suit he was Fred wearing, so Bob burns up.
Now I go. But Bob makes up with her and asks Mary to take a ride in his new Jan Pierce Arrow. But to be frank, he can't park her, so they park their carcass on a horse and canter off. They ride over the Edwin C. Hills, down the Rudy Valleys, through the Benny Fields, and stop where the Johnny Greengrass grows all around.
They come to a beautiful lily pond and decide to make something to eat. Mary is a good Joe cook, so she prepares some Graham McNamee crackers, Lanny Ross beef that's so tender it would James melt in your mouth.
After dinner, they celebrate by drinking a Nino Martini cocktail. Bob would like a smoke, but he hasn't got the Fanny Bryce of a pack of cigarettes. So he stoop-nagels down and picks up a bud.
Mary doesn't like the tactics he was head using, and it looks like she will soon be Lenny hating him.
Then Bob says, "Why are you Bing Crosby with me?" And Mary answers, "Because, Bob Smith, I heard you bend Bernie the candle at both ends, and it's time you Benny Goodman."
So they make up and drive to Hollywood Hotel, where they bob hope to be married by Luella Parsons.
They honeymoon on the showboat, and soon they are blessed with a baby Rosemarie who comes into their lives like a Virginia ray of sunshine, and that completes one man's family. The three most impressive words I've ever heard in my life were the words uttered by our president on the screen and on the radio when he said, "I hate war." And inspired by these words, I'd like to repeat a song which I introduced last year. The dogs of war are growling, once more the papers say, and battle clouds are starting to appear. But if they try to drag us in, we'll say, please go away. We're minding our own business over here. If they feel like a war on some foreign shore, let them keep it over there. If some fools want to fight and think might makes right, let them keep it over there. From coast to coast, you'll hear a million mothers pray. Whatever happens, please don't send my boy away. We're for you, Uncle Sam, but stay out of that jam. Let them keep it over there. If they feel like a war on some foreign shore, let them keep it over there. If some fools want to fight and think might makes right, let them keep it over there. From coast to coast, you'll hear a million doughboys cheer. Our job is to protect our loved ones over here. With an ocean between, let us keep our hands clean. Let them keep it over there. I do hope you've enjoyed this visit with us to New York City. And remember, I love to spend each Sunday with you. Good night.
Your neighborhood Texaco dealer invites you to listen to Eddie Cantor in Texaco Town next Sunday evening at this same time. In the meantime, try Texaco Fire Chief gasoline. Whenever you hear the siren and bell, think of Texaco. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
I love you. I love you. And you too, deep down in my heart, you love me. Yes, Paul. Everything shouted to me. You think now, because you stand here so bitter, with the door open to go, that you will prove me wrong, that you are secure in your shell. I know that too. But you must not go, Paul. Please. Oh, Paul.
As the Ripley of Hollywood, Feg Murray is an encyclopedia of strange truths concerning your favorite stars. In returning to our microphone, he bears the distinction of being the first guest to be called back since the Lux Radio Theater has come to you from Hollywood, proving that you like to listen to his odd facts as much as you like to read his cartoons in the daily paper under the caption Seeing Stars. I've asked him to begin with what he knows about lily ponds and Adolphe Menjou. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Feg Murray.
Thanks, Mr. Demille. Starting from the ground up, Lily Pons wears the smallest shoes of any star in Hollywood, size 1.5B. A village in Maryland has been named after her, and she originally took up singing as a means of improving her health. Adolphe Menjou was a captain in the United States Army Ambulance Service in Italy during the World War. Hollywood told him he was through when the talkies came along, so he made pictures in French, Italian, and Spanish, and was so successful that Hollywood did nip-ups trying to get him back. His parrot likewise speaks French, Italian, and English. And now, Mr. Demille, I understand you have an item for me concerning the Plainsman.
Yes. Since I began making the Plainsman, 39 different people have written me, each claiming to own Lucretia Borgia, Buffalo Bill's famous rifle. And now, what can you tell us about football and Hollywood?
Well, Paul Robeson and Jim Thorpe, the Indian, were both All-American players. Barton McLean once ran back a kickoff 105 yards to score a touchdown for Wesleyan. Johnny Mac Brown of Alabama caught the 58-yard pass that beat Washington 10 years ago in the Rose Bowl. Gene Raymond blushes when you mention football. Once in a prep school game, Gene ran the length of the field for a touchdown, only to discover he had galloped in the wrong direction.
All beautiful ladies use lax soap. But why did you want to be a farmer?
Well, I wanted some nice secluded place in the country with plenty of sunshine and fresh air where I could cultivate a mustache and get into pictures. But now, Miss Pons, before the people are sure Dr. Johnson was right about the French, let us say good night.
Good night, everyone. I hope you like our play.
Good night, mademoiselle. Good night,
Miss Pons, Mr. Monjou, our thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your announcer, Melville Ruick. Mr. Demille returns shortly with news of next week's show. Mr. Monjou's next picture is titled 1 in a Million. Miss Pons appeared through courtesy of RKO Studios, where she just completed That Girl from Paris. Mr. Demille through courtesy of Paramount, Mr. Warburton, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and Mr. Louis Silvers, 20th Century Fox, where he was in charge of music for the new picture Lloyd's of London. And here's Mr. Demille.
Here they come, the smart set.
Shall I call your taxi, Mrs. Vandermorgan?
Yes, and get me one with a radio doorman. It's town hall tonight.
Eugene O'Neill, American dramatist, wins Nobel Prize in Literature for 1936. Town Hall News shows Mr. O'Neill receiving honored trophy.
Come in.
Here is your award, Mr. O'Neill.
What do you mean by knocking? Why didn't you ring the bell?
This is the Nobel Prize, Mr. O'Neill.
Papa sent me out to mail a letter, so I thought I'd drop in.
Well, don't tell me Papa saw himself in the back of his blue serge suit and he's sending himself fan mail.
No, Papa's writing our congressman. He's worried about conditions.
You mean your father resents the general upswing in business?
I'll say it's costing him money.
Well, how can the upswing cost him? How is that?
Well, Papa's a plumber, and when he didn't work during the Depression, he only lost $40 a week.
So?
So, now since the plumber's got a raise, Papa's losing $48, and those extra $8 are not to be sneezed at.
No, not unless they've got pepper on them, no.
If things get any better, Papa'll go out of his mind.
Well, what's 2 steps in his life? Can't Papa get in on the boom?
He's thinking about selling fruit knives to the big corporations.
What'll General Motors and Western Electric do with fruit knives?
Papa says they can use them to cut melons.
Well, it's really wonderful the dividends the big companies are paying. You know, if some of the firms keep giving away money, the first thing you know, the stockholders will get the business.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
No, a stockholder can never tell when he's getting the business.
Here comes Fred leading another selected group of amateurs out to the microphone. And before they begin, let's give them a real town hall reception. Tramping tight on the railroad for my baby. All day long, tramping tight for my Sadie. She's my baby, sure you born. What a boy, what a boy. Tramping tight on the railroad for my baby all day long, lifting timber on the railroad for my baby.
Cooley, ladies and gentlemen. Think you better go over there, Fred. You can see the piano player from here. That was William Cooley, ladies and gentlemen, and very fine, too, William.
Oh, hit it out, boys.
China boys, come near. Oh, China boys, reveal why everything I got into my heart seems to stay all paired right. Dop dee dop dop doo dee doo dop 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 dee 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 doo. Oh, swinging out dee 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 dee. La da 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 doo 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 swing for me. Oh, China boy, yes yes, beat it out, brother. Oh, try it.
Those are the four swingsters from Hoboken.
This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
What is it, Charlie?
President Roosevelt is outside.
What are you... President Roosevelt! Jimmy, did you hear that?
Oh, don't get excited, Eddie. It's not really the president.
No?
I sent for Arthur Baran, the mimic, to come down here and help us out.
A mimic? Well, bring him in, will you?
Okay. Arthur Baran, come on in.
Come on.
Hello, Mayor Cantor. Hello, Jimmy.
Mr. Baran,
Yes?
can you really imitate President Roosevelt?
Well, I can try.
Well, look,
Yes?
supposing you were President Roosevelt, what would you say if I told you I lost my program?
My friends, we planned it that way. The time has come for all people, regardless of party, to come to the aid of the forgotten man.
And find me a program. Mr. President, you don't realize that someone has stolen my script. What's going to happen to my jokes?
The old age pension will take care of that.
But look, I'm frantic. Can't you see that if I don't find my program, I might get fired? I might get fired and may never be heard on the air again?
Yes, this country is definitely on its way to recovery.
Thank you, Arthur Baran. You certainly helped me out of a fix.
I don't know. I'm tall and not hard to look at.
Yeah, and I love your hair, Henry. It's so black and slick.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you like my hair.
Oh, don't mention it. How often do you change your oil?
How often does he change his oil? About every 20 miles.
And Tony, I can tell by one kiss just what type of program a man should be on.
Well, Gracie, this is my first show, and I'm a little bit nervous.
Well, all right, Tony. Then I'll start with the other boys. But I'm going to save the best thing for last. So, Henderson, you're first.
That's a nice idea, yes.
First, eh? Well, okay, Gracie. So you can tell by one kiss just what type of program a man should be on.
Yes.
Well, here goes.
Yes. You belong in the hit parade.
Thanks.
Canals next.
All right.
You belong on the Campbell's tomato juice program on a kind of I can taste the difference. And now, George and Porgy.
Okie dokie.
you belong on Major Bo's amateur program.
Now Gracie will sing with plenty of money in you. Sing it, Gracie.
I have never envied folks with money. Millionaires don't get along so well. You have me, but not a bit of money. Still a combination would be swell. Oh, baby, what I could do with plenty of money and you. In spite of our worries that money brings, just a little filthy lucre buys a lot of things, and you could take me to places I'd like to go. But outside of that, I've no use for dough. It's the root of all evil, of strife and upheaval. But give me that money and you go dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper.
That's the gold digger's lullaby.
Oh, I'd like a fur coat that was made of mink. I'd like to have vintage champagne to drink. I'd like a square-cut emerald diamond ring. And you can't imagine how much joy a yacht can bring. And I'd play all the Rivieras in winter time and climb the Sierras in summertime. Shows the root of all evil, of strife and upheaval. But I'm certain, honey, that life could be sunny. Oh, George, you look funny. Oh, la, 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 la. I don't know the finish. A happy Thanksgiving. Oh, la, 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 la. Oh, pass me the white meat.
Wait a minute.
3 cheers for the Americas. 3 vitamins for Campbell's tomato
Wait a
juice.
minute.
Oh, la, 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 la. Good night, everybody. I'll see you next Wednesday. Oh, la, 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 la.
Oh, I know the finish. Come on. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Washington, D.C., the Chamber of Commerce of the United States says that present business boom is here to stay. Town Hall News shows great difference in the attitude of sales forces during Depression and boom times. First, the sales attitude during the Depression. The scene, a department store in 1932.
Store, Mr. Judson.
Thank you, Miss Wilkes. Can I help you, sir? Men's studs, please. You want to price them?
No. I want to buy a collar button. I'm a customer.
Oh, a customer? Let me take a good look at you.
You don't know me, do you?
No, but it's been so long since I've seen a customer, I want to drink you in, every bit of you. Could I have your name?
Yes, it's Tudor Kelp. But all this fuss...
Oh, a customer is no fuss, Mr. Kelp. Do you mind if I show you off to the staff?
Listen, mister, I'm shopping. This ain't a personal appearance.
Well, now, don't spoil it, Mr. Kelp. You don't know what you mean to the morale of this store. Miss Wilkes.
Yes?
Miss Crinkle.
Yes?
Mr. Bodkin.
Yes, Mr. Judson.
This is Mr. Kelp, a customer.
A customer?
Yes. You can touch him if you want to.
Oh, Mr. Kelp, can I have a lock of your hair?
Stand still, Mr. Kelp. I'll get a candid camera shot. Thanks.
Turn around, Mr. Kelp. I ain't seen a customer since I don't know when.
Well, ain't anyone been in this store lately?
Well, a woman did come in yesterday. She got wrapped up in her window shopping and went too far. She apologized, though, and left.
Well, I'm glad to meet all you folks, but all I need's a collar button.
A collar button, yes, sir. Mr. Bodkin.
Yes, Mr. Judson.
One collar button for Mr. Kelp.
Yes, sir. Right this way, Mr. Kelp. Oh, thank you.
Mind if we girls tag along? Lord, it's so long since I've seen a sale, I forget the technique.
Oh, I say, let's make a daisy chain. Take my hand, Mr. Kelp.
Hey, wait a minute. You're sure this is a department store?
Oh, don't be bashful, silly. Come along. Yes, Mr. Bodkin is waiting.
Now, this is our full line of collar buttons, Mr. Kelp. Oh, just anyone's okay.
Well, now here, let me model one of the gold buttons for you.
No, I'll just slip this one in. That's all right.
Let me see, Mr. Kelp. Tilt your chin. I think your Adam's apple shrieks for a Tekla pearl.
Well, yes, exactly. With that hook-on bow tie you're wearing, a pearl button would do wonders for your neck.
Well, try this one, Mr. Kelp. Thanks. How's this?
That's it, definitely.
Yes, it sets celluloid in your collar, so.
Well, how much is it?
5 cents.
Shall I send it insured? No, I'll keep it on. Here's your nickel.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Kelp. Cash, Miss Wilkes?
5 cents? Just right, thank you. We've certainly enjoyed having you, Mr. Kelp.
Yeah, well, goodbye, all.
Goodbye, Mr.
Kelp.
What about a song, folks?
You bet. He's a jolly good fellow. Kelp's a jolly good fellow.
Ah, but how different today. With business booming, the sales forces have regained their frigid normalcy. The same customer returns to the same department store in 1936.
Check 5,000, Mr. Judson. Credit 10,000, Mr. Judson.
Oh, one at a time, girls. This is $1 million day.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, what is it? Speak up, man. I'm busy.
I'd like to get a collar button.
A collar button? Why, you tramp!
A collar button.
Out you go!
Help! Help!
What do musicians do when they start jamming? Let me explain to you what's meant by jamming. It means they play the tunes they like, the way they like to play 'em. Each guy takes off a noodles around, they swing 'em, sway 'em. Pick up a fiddle or saxophone, go get a trumpet or slide trombone, and come on, everybody jam. If you find you're in the mood for swing, now is the time to do just that thing. So come on, everybody jam, everybody jam. We'll stomp out about 100 choruses of Dinah. We repeat the beat while the trumpet blows, honeysuckle rolls. Yeah, man, we gotta be on the move, swinging along till we're in the groove. So come on, everybody jam. Welcome, musicians, won't you step right in, 'cause a hot jam session is about to begin.
How much do it cost?
It don't cost a thing. All you gotta do is show that you can swing.
But I'd like to dance.
You would?
You bet.
What do you play?
I play clarinet.
I played the trumpet out from Alabama.
Don't care where you're from, we wanna know, can you jam?
But sure like to try, and sure as you're born, I'm gonna jar you loose when I blows this horn.
Well, swing it.
Now I play guitar.
I played the drum.
I slap the bass and I make things hum.
Now we ain't got time to take it one by one, so let's everybody jam and have lots of fun. We'll stomp out about 100 choruses of Dinah. We repeat the beat while the trumpet blows, honeysuckle rolls.
Yeah, man, we gotta be on the move,
swinging along till we're in the groove. So come on, come along, everybody jam, everybody jam.
But you were going to give us some animal impersonations, Paul. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Have you tracked down these animals and caught up with their various sounds?
I did.
What the larger ones or just the everyday animals?
Well, both.
Both, huh?
Yes.
The dinosaur, do you go that far back?
No, sir.
You don't, huh? I had one of those. I bumped my head in a Pullman several years ago, but what would you, what are you going to, will you call them out as you do them, or can I, do you want me to do it for you? How we get
Oh, I can't call them out.
Well, all right. I think I better. I think you better. I think it'll be a good idea. All right, Paul, thank you.
A rooster. A turkey. A pig. A cat fight. A dog serenade.
dog fight.
Paul Zabel. Very good, too, Paul. I haven't heard so much barking since the night I took my hat off at the dog show. You know, tonight there are going to be thousands of people who will unexpectedly win turkeys in raffles around the country, and they'll get home around 12 o'clock tonight, and they won't know how to cook the turkey. And I thought as long as you were a chef, perhaps you could give us a few instructions.
Well, I could give you a recipe on how to make a good turkey, Mr. Allen, but what I've been doing lately has been just roasting frankfurters.
Oh! Well, I couldn't very well then ask you about cooking instructions for a turkey because an old Frankfurt chef was bound to give us the worst of it. But I thought, well, we'll let it go. I thought perhaps you could tell the folks how to cook the turkey, and they could tune in to any radio comedian and get enough chestnuts to make this dressing, and let it go at that.
This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
Thanks for listening to 1936 Part 5, the Soundscapes audio montage series from When Radio Ruled. I'm Mike Gillett, your host. When Radio Ruled and the Soundscape series are before TV productions. Copyright 2019.